right, now we continue our discussion with our leaders. I won't even say future leaders based on their age, but really some critical thoughts that are coming out here. DJ Smooth just joined us. How do we fix this country beyond criticizing which political party is in control, etc.?
Well, good morning, first of all,
Hello.
to everybody. So when you're saying leaders, not future leaders, are you trying to imply that some of us are old?
We've seen you behind those glasses.
You know, according to the NC Youth League, I still fall under the youth radar. I'm 34 years old. I still have another year.
Just.
I think, on a serious note, I really think a lot of us complain a lot, we talk a lot. I think a lot of us are very intelligent, and I think a lot of us have good points, but what a lot of us don't do is to act and do something. And I know a lot of people that do things, you know, and actually a lot of people that get things done are people that are not even in the media, in the spotlight. But I do feel, though, that people in the spotlight play a very big role in encouraging that culture of giving, of doing something. And I mean, last year you guys were interviewing Tulani Matondo, who went overseas through CNN. There's a lot of kids like him who are doing things or getting things done.
But then why are we so fixated with the 25.5% of unemployment amongst youth and now with the 12-odd% of new infection, HIV rates, etc., and we're not hearing more of those kind of stories?
I think somebody else even said it earlier, Guti. A lot of us youth, I think it's also because of post-democracy from 1994. Guti, we have this mindset of being reliant to the government. We're all expecting the government to do something for us. I don't think a lot of us, especially our youth, are entrepreneurial. Their mindset is not entrepreneurial. I mean, if you go to Nigeria, everybody's entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
And if you start promoting that culture.
Let's give maybe a 5-year survival kit, a tool set, if you will, in terms of the fundamentals, the principles that you need to apply to develop yourself, as Tumi was saying, and also to seek the opportunities. Euphonic?
Yeah, I just think a lot of hard work, you know, like a lot of hard work, educate yourself, ask questions, ask all the right questions. You know, like, don't rely on anyone. Like, I used to wake up every single day and say, today I'm going to do one thing for Euphonic, one thing for the Euphonic brand. And that was me, you know, that was my hustle. And I'd ask all the right questions. I'd go to places where I knew that, like, this is where I'm going to find this kind of information. You just need that fighting spirit inside you, you know, and, like, never ever give up, you know.
Yeah, so if you were given a contract you couldn't refuse to be based in Miami, I know you go there for international DJ and dance competitions, etc., to live there, would you say bye-bye to South Africa?
No, I wouldn't. Honestly, I wouldn't. Like, there's so much opportunity. I'd go, learn as much as I possibly could learn, and then bring it back home, because South Africa's still got a lot. It's still got a bright future, a very bright future.
Sorry, Andrew. What I wanted to mention is I think the crucial point in what we must try and achieve is a degree of mentorship, and we should be able to partner up and give that mentorship. A lot of reasons why a lot of businesses fail within the first 3 years is because there is no mentorship, there is no one guiding you. But I think if we had mentorship and we can offer that and we can mentor out there, we would achieve things. But I think what is also critical that we need to get into is a lot of people don't know that there are a lot of NGOs that give free skills training. If we were to go out there and do free skills training, form a constituency, you do bricklayering, you do electric wiring, you do whatever, we could go back to our communities and say, these are the skills we have, this is where we can source money, and this is where we can go back and so back.
So it's a social contract that we all need to take. We have 2 minutes, guys.
Just to say the same continent, we need to get away from the notion of people are going to, and stop expecting people to give you something. Get away from the whole, I'm expecting for the government to help me out, I'm expecting for people to help me out, I'm expecting, in order for mentorship to actually work, it's when you make the conscious decision that you're going to facilitate and work with your mentor in order to ensuring that your progress does actually take place. Sure. Get away from wanting to become a get sort of society and start actually contributing actively towards ensuring that change does take place.
Women empowerment, let's talk about especially raising girls and also how we get them involved.
And also I'd just like to add, with the fact that we don't need the government, yes, as much as we say that, but unfortunately what we face right here as sort of the youth and what the youth faces in the rural areas are two different struggles. They do need the government, they do need the support, they do need empowerment, and unfortunately, obviously, we're also facing our own struggles here and we're doing our own thing, so they need projects that's gonna uplift them. They cannot do it by themselves. And yes, you may have hard work, you may have, you know, sort of the thinking, but if there's nothing there, what are you gonna do about it? You know what I'm saying? There definitely needs to be a 50-50 going, because unfortunately, as the youth, as young people, if our education education is not on point, if the government is not helping us. And like we say, for us, yes, it's nice for us to say, well, you just need to work hard, you just need to do that. But unfortunately, they do need the sort of push in the right direction.
No, I think I absolutely agree with you. I think it's very easy to sit on this couch and say, yeah, you need to work hard, you need to look for it. But if you're in Ekasi, in Deep Sloot, in Zone 1, it is exceptionally hard to find those opportunities. But that's what I'm saying. What I'm trying to say is the following, okay, is that I think that we need more mentors in South Africa, more people like ourselves to actually go back and say, dude, this is what you need to do, this is how you need to do it, and this is what's going to rock and roll. And I think also in South Africa, we need to get away from this notion of them and us. I think we spoke about that earlier, but as Warren Buffett said, a rising tide rises all boats. I want everyone to succeed in South Africa, because then I know that I'll succeed, and it'll push me to better and bigger boundaries.
And
so
you prosper more as
exactly. It's not a white-black thing anymore for me. It's a South African thing. We have to get to the South African face. And yes, there have been atrocities in the past, and we can't forget those. But we need to move forward as a group, as a South Africa, not as individuals. And that's the important thing that
all right, let's talk about not necessarily your successes, but I'm more interested in the journey to being where you are. You were saying that living that mantra every day, to say I'm going to add to myself, and then we'll just take those very quickly. We're seriously out of time, guys. But just to empower, motivate people and inspire them going forward.
Motivation is like taking a bath. You have to do it every single day. You have to keep yourself motivated every single day, because if you don't take a bath every single day, you end up smelling. The same thing with your mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to keep yourself motivated every single day. And I think a lot of things all come back to marketing. Like, you see Euphonic raising his hands on decks in front of 10,000 people having the time of his life, but you don't know how much hard work goes in behind it. And I think that's what I see with a lot of kids. Like, they want the end result, but they aren't willing to walk the journey to the end result. They're just like, that's too difficult. I'd rather find other things to do that are going to make me that kind of money. There are no shortcuts in life.
Yeah, sure. Chase?
Yeah, I think, I mean, everyone, we kind of all agreeing on the same thing. We're just looking at it from different angles. And that's the most important thing is success is, some people get breaks in life. Some people, I'm not saying they didn't work for them, but obviously your stars have to align. And if you're not able to share that knowledge, and it is a wealth, it's worth more than any money, the knowledge that a successful person has gained throughout their journey. If you're not willing to share it and pass it back on to other people, the country's not going to grow. And in essence, that's what we need, is we need to share our knowledge, we need to share our information, and share our journey is going to be the most important thing.
And the great, or the distinction between good and great leaders is that tenacity, that diligence, that even during the trials and tribulations you still stand firm. You've been there, you know. And still you continue to rise.
Yes, I think we all start from the bottom, and I think we all should be willing to pay our dues. A lot of South African youth, we choose jobs. But somebody else from Zimbabwe comes through, starts from the bottom, and then a year later they're owning a business. You start complaining that they're taking your job. But in terms of starting from the bottom and just trying to help other people achieve, we do that weekly as much as we can through the foundation. They can check out our website, slef.co.za, which is the acronym SLEF.co.za. And our Leadership 2020 seminars, we're having one intimate one this coming Saturday in the morning at number 4 Pybus Road at Regenesis Business School. That's for an intimate crowd. So we'll continue inculcating that type of mindset and trying to help out as much as we can, wherever we can.
Yeah. No, it's certainly taking the advantage, of course, there to promote everything. And that's very critical for a leader. All right, thanks so much, guys. We'll take a quick ad break. We'll see you shortly.